Hi friends. Apparently I am a makeup beauty influencer now. I just bought a lot of makeup. I've been watching some beauty channels. But anyway, I've been struggling lately with my foundation. It might be my primer, it might also be my setting powder because I've been using the Estee Lauder Double Wear and I used it last summer and loved it. But this summer it's like really sinking into my pores and like breaking up on my nose here really badly. I tried a new primer and it seems better, but it's still, even with the setting powder, it just gets into my pores. And part of it is, despite my face being ridiculously shiny, I just put on 12 layers of moisturizer because that's what I have to do now. I just walk around looking like a glazed donut. I've been trying some new foundations anyway, because I have dry skin. I've been trying to think about whether or not I can use a new foundation, but I honestly don't know where to start. So, what I'm here to talk about today, and I apologize that I have to do this awkwardly. My gimbal, I knew that I needed to charge it after recording the last video and then proceeded to not do that. So it's charging right now, which means that I have to hold the camera and my arm's getting very tired. Anyway, so what I love is, so this brand, this is Il Makiage, New York. I've heard mixed reviews on their foundation. I'm honestly a little bit skeptical based on what I've read about it, but whatever. But what I like is that they let you try it before you purchase. Like, you can try it for 14 days, and if you don't like it, you can send it back. And if you do like it, you keep it, and then they charge you. So I'm gonna try for the next week. I'm gonna try in different combinations, different primers, different techniques to apply, and we'll see how it goes. And I don't have a good setup to film me putting on the foundation every day, but I'll try to check in every day with you and show you, like, tell you how I put it on and what I did, and then show you kind of what it's looking like. And so we can kind of talk through whether or not I liked it and what I thought of it. And I'm just really excited at the try before you buy model, which that's great because I have no idea what foundation is going to work for me, and I don't want to buy like 20 of them and only one works, and then I'm stuck with a whole bunch of things, because what am I going to do with a whole bunch of bottles of foundation that doesn't work for me? That's really wasteful. So we're going to try this model, but first I'm going to show you the boxing and all of that, because I did open it, but we'll pretend I didn't. It looks really cute. Okay, so here's the box. I love this foil. It's like a really classy box, right? Huh? Like that. So here's how it works. So you try them for 14 days starting on the date they were delivered. If you love them, keep them. If you don't, then you visit their website and download a return label and send it back within 14 days of delivery. And then you'll only be charged for the products you keep. So here's, I really only ordered one thing. This was like in here nicely. Again, I took everything out, so it's no longer as nice as it used to be, but this nice black fuzzy paper stuff in here. So here's their thing, how you put it on. Apply 2 pumps to your entire face, jaw, and neckline. Blend out with a brush or sponge, not by hand. Wait 5 minutes to set. Don't match to your neck or wrist. They're different tone than your face. Maybe. Finish your face with concealer, blush, and bronzer, or for a full week to determine if it's perfect for you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try a bunch of different applications. So this is the foundation bottle. The other cool thing is you do kind of a quiz online of what your skin type is and colors, and then they color match you based on your shade or on your answers to the quiz. So I'm not sure if the color match will be right or not. So here's what this says. Smoothens and evens the skin, minimizes the appearance of shadows and pores, enhances the complexion, and creates a flawless natural matte finish. Cutting Edge formula offers a unique combination of medium to high coverage and a super comfortable weightless feeling. It's ultra fluid and easy to blend. Texture applies effortlessly and enables a buildable coverage to suit all needs. For long lasting wear, pair with primer or setting spray. Cool. sponge or foundation brush. I'm going to try both of those methods, rest assured. That's what's in it. I'm not going to read all of those things, but it's not like clean beauty, I don't think. It's probably a lot of chemicals that aren't good for you, but that's foundation, you know. So anyway, so as I was saying before, so you fill out this quiz and then they shade match you and foundation match you. So you kind of say, here's my issues, and then they tell you, here's the foundation we think you're going to want in the shade we think you're going to want. It says, I don't speak low maintenance, which is maybe true of me, probably. So this is the shade that they matched me with. It is 060. And it's hard to tell in the bottle, but it looks close, right? It might be a little yellow. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to put this on, and I can't film that because I don't have a good setup. And I also have a class discussion in like 20 minutes. Back with more later. Hi everyone. So I'm back after I didn't have anything else on. I'll take these off. Playing tennis, so taking that off. All I have on is foundation and a little bit of the contour and my setting powder, and then a setting spray. It's so weird because my face feels so like sticky, greasy. It felt fine when I put it on, but it's like, it feels like I just have moisturizer on, and it's a little bit disconcerting. It looks fine. It looks really okay. I mean, it's not like, look, my skin is bad. It's got giant pores and all sorts of things. So it's definitely not covering those up, but it's also not pancakey. And I'm wondering if it's just like not having a matte foundation, because I think that is a big part of, I'm so used to having the Double Wear, which is a very, very matte finish foundation. And so I'm like, my foundation isn't doing anything. I'm just shiny and sweaty, and like, I don't know, the glow thing is a thing now. I'm just so used to not having it. And for reference, when I'm filming this, it is June, so it's the beginning of summer. I looked internally, I didn't look outside, but it's 25 degrees Celsius inside, so in my house. It's also 39% humidity. So I mean, I don't love the coverage of this right now. I feel like my face looks like my face, which is okay, but you can really see, this is like the part that I hate. You can really see these lines here, and like still very much see all of these pores. So what I did is I put this on today with the way I have almost always put on my foundation, which is a flat top kabuki brush, primer, flat top kabuki brush foundation. And it said to use 2 pumps, and I used 4. So like, I tried to build this to full coverage, and it's still not really full coverage, but and then I did a little bit of concealer under my eyes, and I used my brushes, my matte contour kit on, and then I used a big powder brush to put the setting powder all over my face. So that's what I did today. I don't love it, but it certainly looks better from a you're not obviously wearing a whole bunch of foundation standpoint than the Double Wear, but it's not, I don't love the coverage. So day 1, here we are. Okay, so I mean, ignore that I'm sweaty and my hair is like, but this foundation, at least with this application method, is garbage. Like, it's not, you can see where it's just swatted off my face. I mean, I was playing tennis, granted, but the Double Wear would have stayed on. It would have been like a little bit rubbed off, like probably by my nose, but nothing that like a quick touch up couldn't fix if I needed it. This is the worst. Like, maybe if I try a different application, it'll be a different story, but it's so patchy. So day 1, hate it. we'll try some other stuff and see if it changes, but current first impression, no. Not if you want it to be long wear. It was barely even long wear when I was sitting here not exercising or doing anything. Like, I guess if you live your life in a perfectly temperate, air-conditioned environment where you sit still and don't do anything, it might be fine. I don't live like that, so. Not for me so far. We'll see about day 2. So I just put on day 2 of this Il Makiage Woke Up Like This foundation after day 1, where it just melted off my face in an hour without me even doing anything. The only thing I changed up today is I put it on with a damp beauty blender instead of the kabuki brush. So again, right away so far it looks really good, but it did yesterday too, and then by an hour later it was just, my face was super shiny, and then by an hour after that it was just rubbing off my face. So we'll see if this application changes anything. I don't think it will. I really don't. But I'm giving it a fair trial, so I'll report back. Okay, end of day check-in, day 2. Good news is that most of the foundation has made it through the day. I'm pretty sure it's still on my face. I mean, you can't really tell, but you couldn't really tell that it was on my face in the first place. It's definitely starting to rub off now. It had really settled into my nose pores when I checked a while ago, like several hours ago. But it was still on, but now we're back to the point where it's just rubbed off, like it's all on my hand. I mean, to be fair, it's been on for like 12 hours, but still, by now, like, you can still see it's like still on in some places, although that's probably just, that's where I put concealer, so that might just be the concealer that's on. I am more happy with it today than I was yesterday, where it just melted in an hour, but I still don't love it. Results are not good for this foundation. Ugh. You can see my contour and where I put concealer, and that's the only place that anything is still on my face. And my eyeshadow, obviously. Il Makiage Woke Up Like This. I mean, aptly named because it's not on your face, so you pretty much did just wake up like this. So I guess if what they were going for is we wanted to make you look exactly like you, and like you might as well have not bothered to put foundation on, then success, experiment success. If they wanted me to feel like I had gotten something for my $43 and the time that I have invested in putting it onto my face, failure. Okay, so we're on day 3 of the Il Makiage foundation. It looks really good. Again, I just put it on, so we all have seen that it looks great when you just put it on. It's the hours after that are tricky. Today, what I changed up was I actually put on my setting powder with the Beauty Blender sponge and really pressed it in. So honestly, I think that if it's not going to hold like this, then it's just plain not going to hold. Because I've pressed the powder in. I've also gone in with setting spray. If this doesn't work, I'm very skeptical that this foundation is going to work at all. Changing my primer really did affect how well the Estee Lauder Double Wear stayed, but I don't know how much we're gonna be able to do for this if it just melts off. And again, I don't have particularly oily skin. I mean, it is summer and my skin does get a little bit oilier in summer, but it's not particularly oily. I mean, I'm not an oily skin type where I would just be a mess. And this foundation is just sliding off of my face. So I'm a little skeptical. All right, it's a little after 3 p.m. So I put this foundation on this morning prior to work, so like 8-ish in the morning. This, I should preface with, this is definitely the hottest day yet this summer. It's like 36 degrees Celsius outside, and it's definitely humid. So I mean, you can see like my hair is, even being put up, is still just like everywhere. I'm trying to check this foundation. So it definitely feels like it's melting, and I'm definitely shiny. I mean, I keep touching my nose because it's been itching, and then like where my glasses are. So I'm skeptical if any foundation at all is still on my nose. What you're seeing here is the concealer that I use for the contour. I don't think there's any foundation left on my nose other than that. Is there any up here? This is the other place that I don't really have concealer on. I don't think there is. I think mostly what you're seeing is where I did concealer and the contour and blush are still like on my cheeks, but I think I'm like skeptical as to whether or not there's actually foundation on my forehead right now. So 7 hours of wear, it's gone, like pretty much gone. I'm definitely shiny. I mean, I used a lot of concealer, so at least like this part is not too noticeable, but yeah, foundation is basically non-existent. So once again, you know, I'll say I did wake up like this because it's just my actual face. I might as well just put on a contour and some eyeshadow and call it good, because that's about as much coverage as I'm getting out of this foundation. We'll try it with a different primer tomorrow, but I don't like it. I feel like for something that they give you a money back guarantee on, they would want it to suck less. Whatever. Okay. It's like 2 hours later. I think it's like 6. My lipstick is... The Il Makiage lip liner works, I'll tell you that. That's still on. Like, my lipstick's gone, but the liner's still on. You want to know what's not cute? So here's what's not cute. Look at this, like there's like a stripe down my nose from where I did the concealer highlight, and then nothing. Like, that is the least attractive thing I have seen in a while. Like, are you kidding me with this? I'm like about to not even try another day of this foundation. I mean, like, kind of, what do I care? Like, I have anywhere to go. But that's ridiculous. I've honestly never had a foundation do that. Like, the only places it's on is like right here and on my cheeks, which I definitely like really pressed powder down onto because I wanted to get in the pores. And then like, that's it. And then this strip down my nose, which is concealer, and all of this under my eyes is concealer. Everywhere else is gone, in the like least attractive way. Yesterday I was a little encouraged. I was like, okay, it hung in there for a while. It like was okay. No, I mean, I'll try it with a couple different primers and see what happens, but Hi everyone, it's day four of this Il Makiage foundation. I just put it on, and as always, it looks and feels really good immediately after putting it on. It just makes my skin feel so soft and just like powdered. You can't feel the texture. I mean, you can always see my skin texture. It looks so good right after application. The only thing I did differently today from yesterday is I used the Benefit Professional Primer instead of the Bare Minerals Original Primer, which works worse with the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but we'll see how it works with this. I'm interested to see if it actually holds it on my face better or not. It definitely holds less with the Double Wear. So yeah, I'll check in as I'm able, midway through and then end of the day. If I make it that long, I usually end up washing this off before the end of the day anyway, but yeah, we'll see. Okay friends, here we are on day 4 at lunchtime. So it's been 4 hours or so since I put this on. It's still on. I mean, it still doesn't give me the coverage I want, but at this point I don't think anything is going to give me the coverage I want without settling into lines and pores. But my nose is a bit shiny, so that's concerning. It's probably gonna wear off again. It looks okay everywhere else. It's a little, so my forehead and my nose are pretty shiny. This is shiny here, but that's highlighter, so that's fine. It's still really good on my cheeks, but I don't know, I mean, it's looked good at lunchtime for the past couple days. And then just all of a sudden melted off my face. So not getting excited yet, but keeping you updated. So far okay. I still don't love it, but at least it's not completely gone, leaving me looking utterly ridiculous yet. It will. And of course tonight's the night that I actually have to leave the house and be at a place at 5 p.m. So that will inevitably mean that my foundation looks absurd. So really excited for that. So another full day of wear, and it's pretty much gone again. I mean, at least this time it also took the stripe of contour with it. So I took my glasses off so you can see a little better. And it kind of did and kind of didn't. Like, this part is still got some cover, but that's all. Like, my cheeks are way worse. That's all just my skin. And what I was noticing is in the interim, it was like really sinking into the pores on my nose. Yeah, that's pretty much gone again, isn't it? So I'm like debating if I even want to give this a day 5 or if I just want to send it back, because I really think that I'm done. So I didn't even make it a whole week. I made it 4 days, and it's consistently done this with different applications and different primers. And I'm just tired of this foundation. I'm so tired of it. It still is like, I'm greasy. It's rubbing off on my fingers. And it looks horrible by halfway through the day. Like, no, not worth it. So that's my official assessment, I think. I think I'm gonna get it ready and mail it back tomorrow. I made it for 4 days of my 14-day trial before I officially gave up. So I don't know, maybe you all have had a different experience than I have. Maybe it worked for you. It had like 5-star reviews all over the place on the internet, but no, I hate it. Official review. This foundation is the worst. Thanks. I hate it.